Fundamentally, restoration is a very profitable industry. There's a lot of money to be made. However, if you don't streamline your restoration business, you will encounter the enemy of cash flows. If things aren't moving really quickly along and there's a lot of delay in between touches, it'll take you forever to get paid and your expenses have already gone out to your employees, subcontractors, and so on and so forth. And this causes the number one problem within restoration, which is actually cash flow. The number one way you can actually streamline your restoration business is actually by putting it on autopilot or automating it. And in this video, I want to go into the framework on how you can automate your restoration business. If you're a restoration owner watching this, do this first, but then make sure to send this video to all of your employees, because if you build the people, they will end up building the business, and it's a magical thing to watch happen. Let's dive in. So the first step that you need to do before automating your restoration business is actually doing something called a time and energy audit. And one of my mentors, Dan Martell, wrote the book Buy Back Your Time, and he introduced this principle of a time and energy audit. Basically what you do is you set a 15-minute reoccurring timer for 2 weeks straight, and when the timer goes off, you write down what you did in those 15 minutes, and you grade that specific task on two things. One, how much did I enjoy that? And you could do it with a smiley face, from a happy face to a very angry face. And then two, using dollar signs, how much value did this specific task bring me? Now, once you're done with that 2-week sample size, you're then going to go through that list and find all the tasks that fit one of the two criteria. They either didn't bring you joy or they didn't bring you value. They weren't worth your time. You just kind of did them to kind of go through the motions. Then the third thing is super magical. You replace those tasks with either technology or people. So an example of this would be when we were running our restoration company, we absolutely hated going to every single job and having to use the good old laser, and actually before the laser was a tape measure, having to sketch out the entire property out. It took hours every single time, and then trying to transcribe our hieroglyphs of sketches to Xactimate sketches was an absolute nightmare. So when we did our time and energy audit, that was high dollar sign, but it was upside down smiley face. So basically upset face. And we decided, let's look into 3D imaging solutions to replace that. And that 1 hour of sketching turned into a 5-minute Matterport scan. And that was an example of how we replaced that specific task with technology. Another example would be the concept of a 24-hour call. So when one of our office admins did a time and energy audit, one of the things that she was spending a couple hours per day was calling customers and following up with those customers on how the technician experience was the day before. And it was super annoying, and most of the customers didn't answer the phone anyway because they were at work, so she was leaving voicemails, sending text messages, and people were following up back. We knew that that was an important thing to do because it was a proactive way we can know how satisfied the customer was, but we knew there had to be a better way. So with Albi Automates, we basically created an automatic text message that went out to every single customer after the initial work was completed, and it sent that customer a text message telling them, hey, if you have any issues, call the office. This is the number. Hey, you could also text me back. And by the way, can you fill out this type form survey where you can let us know what you thought about our service? And we actually started getting engagement on that. And we were able to track in mass, better than we did before with a 24-hour call, our net promoter score, or how well our customers thought about us. And we were able to, anytime we got a 1-star review, we got that 1 star on our form, not publicly, and we got it in the middle of the drying process. So we were able to call them right back and be able to solve the issue before it bubbled up into a much bigger issue. So that was an example of how we took one task that was very daunting and boring, automated it, and now it gets done every single time because the computer doesn't really care if the task is fun to do or not, and the accuracy is actually a lot higher. Now, sometimes technology can't replace that specific task, and sometimes you need to find other people to replace that task. And in his book, Buy Back Your Time, my mentor Dan Martell actually talks about the fact that anytime you do a task that is not worth how much you are paid, you're actually costing the business money. So what I mean by this is if you're worth $100,000 a year and there could be somebody for $5 an hour doing a specific task. Anytime you do that task and you don't give it to somebody who is getting paid $5 an hour, you're actually costing yourself the difference there. And there are a lot of tools like Upwork, for example, where you can find freelancers that are offshore people that can help you with a lot of those daunting tasks, and you're actually able to buy back your time. So the fourth step towards automating your restoration company is actually replacing all of that time that you won back with valuable things that align to the mission and vision of your business. So it's all fun and games if you're able to throw this automation up and save all this time, but you actually don't move the business forward if you're not filling it up with something. So you want to make sure that you're looking for those high-level action items in your business that you can spend the newly acquired time on. So for example, if the office admin now doesn't have to do the daunting task of picking up the phone and calling every single customer every 24 hours, what could they be doing with that specific time? Maybe they can spend that time by making extra phone calls on the customers that owe money and calling adjusters, so that way they can get the money in the door faster. That would be an example on how they bought back their time via Albi automations, and then they were able to spend more time on something critical that automation can't really replace. And in fact, that's what technology has done as civilization has progressed. Many people are afraid that they're going to be replaced by technology, but they're actually empowered by technology, and they're able to do higher level tasks, and society gets elevated as a whole. So as business professionals, we always think that being busy is the end all be all, and when we had a super busy day, we feel like it was productive and we're satisfied. But a lot of times we could just be busy with busy work and basically be spinning our tires in the mud without even knowing it. By automating your restoration business, you can make sure to eliminate that and actually put all of your time, energy, and effort in moving the business forward. And it's very simple. You first do the time and energy audit. Second, you pick the tasks that aren't worth your time and don't bring you joy. Third, you replace them with either technology or people. And fourth, you fill your calendar back up with those high-level items that are going to propel your restoration company to the next level. If you like this content, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're interested to learn more on how Albi automations can help your business, I'll see you on the other side on a full video explaining Albi Automates, the future of the restoration industry.